Welcome back to my YouTube channel where we explore the hidden treasures of everyday currency. Today we embark on a fascinating journey into the world of the 2 pence coin, specifically the 2005 edition. This episode will take you deep into the coin's creation, its design, its minting process, and the cultural and historical context that surrounds it. To understand the true value and significance of the 2005 2 pence coin, we must first look back at the origins of the decimalisation of British currency, which took place in 1971. Before this change, Britain used a system based on pounds, shillings, and pence, with 12 pence to the shilling and 20 shillings to the pound. The transition to a decimal system simplified the currency and made it more accessible for trade and everyday transactions. As a result, new coins were introduced, including the 2 pence coin. The first 2 pence coins were minted in 1971 and made from bronze with a distinct reverse design featuring the badge of the Prince of Wales, which includes a plume of 3 ostrich feathers within a coronet, and the motto, Ich dien, which means I serve in German. This design was created by Christopher Ironside, a talented artist and coin designer who played a major role in shaping the modern coinage of Britain. His work on the 2 pence coin became an iconic representation of the era. As we move forward to the year 2005, we find ourselves at a time when the Royal Mint had undergone significant technological advancements in coin production. The 2005 2 pence coin still used the original reverse design by Ironside, maintaining a sense of continuity and tradition. However, what makes the 2005 edition particularly interesting is its position in the timeline just before a major change in the composition of the coin itself. Originally, the 2 pence coins were made of bronze, a mixture of copper, tin, and zinc, but due to rising metal prices, the Royal Mint decided to switch to copper-plated steel in 1992, despite the switch. Older coins remained in circulation, which means that by 2005, you could still find both bronze and copper-plated steel coins in everyday use. The 2005 coin was made entirely of copper-plated steel, which gave it a slightly different weight and magnetic property compared to the earlier bronze coins. This change in metal also had implications for collectors and numismatists, who began to pay closer attention to the material composition of the coins they collected. Now let us explore the obverse of the coin, the side bearing the image of the reigning monarch in 2005. This was Queen Elizabeth II. Her portrait on the coin was created by Ian Rank Broadley and had been in use since 1998. Rank Broadley's design was notable for its realism and the sense of dignity it conveyed. It showed the Queen wearing the tiara of King George IV and was intended to reflect her maturity and grace as a long-serving monarch. This portrait remained in use until 2015 and is considered one of the more respected images of Her Majesty in British coinage. With both sides of the coin understood, we can now delve into the minting process itself. The Royal Mint, located in Llantrisant, South Wales, had become a world leader in the production of high-quality currency using both traditional craftsmanship and cutting-edge technology to produce millions of coins each year. The process for minting a 2 pence coin involved blanking, annealing, upsetting, and striking the coin. Blanks were first punched from large sheets of copper-plated steel, then softened in an annealing furnace, before being washed and dried. Next, they passed through an upsetting mill, which raised the edges of the blanks to prepare them for striking. Finally, the blanks were fed into presses where dies struck the obverse and reverse designs into the metal at high pressure, creating the finished coin. It is important to note that while the 2 pence coin is often seen as a low-value piece of change, it holds a rich place in British culture and commerce for many people, especially collectors. The 2005 2 pence coin is part of a story that spans over 5 decades, reflecting changes in politics, economics, and technology. The coin represents more than its face value. It is a record of national identity and a tool of everyday life. Let us now examine the economic context of the mid-2000s in the United Kingdom. At this time, the economy was relatively strong with low unemployment and steady growth. However, concerns about inflation and the cost of raw Materials including copper began to influence decisions at the Royal Mint and other mints around the world by transitioning to cheaper materials like steel. The mint was able to reduce production costs without removing coins from circulation. This balance between economy and tradition is a recurring theme in coin history, and the 2005 2-pence coin is a perfect example of this strategy in action. Moving on to public perception, we find that the 2-pence coin holds a unique place in the hearts of the British people. While some see it as mere pocket change, others recall fond memories of childhood coin collections, games like penny pushers at arcades, and the simple joy of finding a shiny coin on the street. These associations make the coin more than just a monetary object. It becomes a part of personal and collective memory. In terms of collectability, the 2005 2-pence coin is not considered rare in the traditional sense, as millions were minted for general circulation. However, the condition of the coin, its luster, lack of wear, and overall presentation can greatly affect its desirability among collectors. Those found in uncirculated condition or included in official Royal Mint sets can fetch higher prices in numismatic markets, especially if accompanied by certification or documentation. Let us now turn our attention to potential errors and variants in the 2005 2-pence coin. While most coins were struck correctly, a small number may contain minting errors such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or double images. These anomalies occur infrequently, but are highly prized by collectors due to their uniqueness. Such error coins often attract considerable interest in auctions and among specialists who track and document every known variation. As we near the midpoint of our exploration, we can reflect on the significance of this modest coin. Its value may be small in monetary terms, but its story is vast, intricate, and deeply connected to the evolution of modern Britain, from the design legacy of Christopher Ironside to the economic challenges faced by the Royal Mint to the quiet role this coin plays in daily commerce and memory. The 2005 2-pence coin stands as a symbol of continuity and change. In the second half of this documentary, we will take a closer look at how coins like the 2-pence are handled by collectors, what grading standards apply, how market trends evolve, and what makes one year more desirable than another. We will also examine the influence of public campaigns, such as the Save Our Coppers movement, and what the future might hold for the smallest denominations of British currency. Stay tuned as we continue this deep dive into the world of the 2-pence coin and uncover even more layers of history, artistry, and value that lie beneath its copper-plated surface. The story of the 2-pence coin also intersects with efforts to educate the public about currency literacy. Schools across the UK use coins to teach children about money values, arithmetic, and budgeting, and the 2-pence coin, with its round shape, bold number, and copper color, is often one of the first coins children learn to identify. This educational role is another reason why the coin has remained relevant long after other low-value denominations in other countries were removed from circulation. Returning to the year 2005, we can place this coin within the broader context of British coinage history. At this time, the nation was still using the traditional pre-2008 reverse designs, which would soon be replaced by the Royal Shield series introduced in 2008, that redesign dramatically altered the visual identity of British coins, unifying them under a single thematic concept of a segmented shield spread across multiple denominations. The 2005 2-pence coin therefore marks one of the final years of the original design, and for that reason, it holds historical interest as part of the final chapter of a classic British aesthetic. Additionally, the coin carries with it the image of Queen Elizabeth II in a period of mature stability she had celebrated her Golden Jubilee just 3 years earlier and was widely respected both at home and internationally. The Ian Rank Broadley portrait reflects that regal poise and was part of nearly every coin minted in the UK. During that time, it stands in contrast to earlier portraits from her youth, and the later portrait introduced by Jody Clark in 2015. This progression of portraits allows us to track not only the passing of time, but also the evolving image of monarchy in Britain. In more recent years, the conversation around coinage has included sustainability, accessibility, and cost efficiency. Modern mints are constantly researching ways to produce currency that is secure, easy to identify, and affordable for taxpayers. The 2 pence coin has survived these discussions due to its continued use in commerce, especially in pricing strategies where prices often end in 99 pence, keeping low-denomination coins in daily circulation relevant and useful. From a design standpoint, the 2 pence coin has also been praised for its simplicity and legibility. The clear number, the elegant script of the words 2 pence, and the historical badge on the reverse create a balanced and dignified appearance. Unlike the overly complex or stylized coins seen in other countries, the 2 pence coin remains clear, accessible, and functional in its design, appealing both to the public and to professional designers as a model of successful coinage design. As we begin to bring our documentary to a close, it is worth reflecting on what the 2005 2 pence coin represents. It is a reminder of a specific moment in time, a bridge between old and new traditions, a product of both craftsmanship and mass production, and a piece of metal that carries far more meaning than its small face value would suggest. For some, it may simply be change in a pocket, but for others, it is a historical artifact, a collector's item, a teaching tool, or a piece of their personal story. Coins like the 2 pence carry the legacy of a nation and the story of its people, their values, their monarchy, their economy, and their daily lives, from the metal it's made of to the image it bears. The 2005 2 pence coin offers a deep and fascinating insight into the United Kingdom of the early 21st century, and it is our privilege to tell its story in full. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, where we explore the incredible world of old coins and their hidden values. And today we are going to take a fascinating deep dive into the world of Lincoln pennies, focusing especially on the coins minted in the year 2011 and their unique place in history, their design, their context, and their potential value in the collector's market. The Lincoln cent has a history that stretches back over a century, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. This iconic coin has remained in production longer than any other U.S. coin design in history and has undergone several important changes over the decades, both in design and composition. And each variation tells a story of American history, economics policy, and technological evolution. In the early years, the Lincoln penny featured the now famous wheat ears reverse design created by Victor David Brenner, whose initials were famously controversial in their placement and size. On the original coins, the obverse design has always carried the profile of President Lincoln facing right, which was revolutionary at the time since previous U.S. coins featured symbolic representations rather than real historical figures. In the beginning, the composition was 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. But wartime needs and inflation have led to several changes over the years, including the steel cents of 1943 and the more recent zinc core versions used today. As we focus now on the 2011 Lincoln pennies, it is important to understand their place within the broader context of the shield cent design, which replaced the Lincoln Bicentennial series that ran. From 2009 through 2010, the 2011 penny carries the Union Shield reverse design, which was introduced in 2010 to symbolize President Lincoln's preservation of the United States as a single unified country. The shield contains 13 vertical stripes, bound together with a horizontal bar at the top, representing the original 13 states joined in unity under a federal government, and the banner across the front reads, 1 cent, a strong and straightforward representation of American unity, strength, and economic foundation. These 2011 pennies were struck at 2 different mints, Philadelphia and Denver, and they also exist in several different finishes, including the standard business strike as well as higher quality satin and proof finishes made for collectors. The Philadelphia coins do not carry a mint mark, while the Denver issues bear the D mint mark, and each has subtle characteristics that can make individual coins more or less valuable depending on condition, rarity, strike quality, and errors or varieties that occurred during the minting process. In terms of mintage, the 2011 Lincoln cents were produced in massive numbers, with over 2 billion coins struck in Philadelphia and a similar number in Denver, but despite their commonality, there are specific varieties within the 2011 issue that have gained attention among collectors and dealers, especially coins with doubled dies, die cracks, plating issues, and striking anomalies that can dramatically affect their desirability and value among numismatists. Let us take a closer look at the diagnostic features of a genuine 2011 Lincoln cent, starting with the obverse, where you will find the familiar image of President Lincoln as refined over time. His profile is crisp, and the inscriptions include the word Liberty, the year 2011, and either a mint mark or blank space, where the Philadelphia Mint produced the coin on the reverse. The Union Shield is surrounded by the inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus unum, and 1 cent, each of which should be evaluated carefully under magnification to detect any possible die errors or doubling issues, particularly in the lettering and shield lines, which can often produce valuable double die varieties. One of the more interesting aspects of modern Lincoln cents is their susceptibility to plating issues, since they are made from a zinc core coated with a thin layer of copper. This means that improperly bonded or poorly struck coins can show signs of bubbling, flaking, or peeling, which, while considered errors, can be quite valuable to error collectors, and these issues are especially noted in 2011 pennies, when quality control at the mints was still refining their processes for the new shield design. Now let us talk about the collector's market and how 2011 Lincoln pennies are valued and traded today, despite their relatively young age. Coins from this year have already started making appearances in certified slabs with high grades, from professional services like PCGS and NGC. A perfect MS70 or PR70 grade on a coin of this age may still be relatively affordable, but as time passes and as fewer examples survive in pristine condition, these top-grade coins can significantly increase in value. Collectors pay special attention to coins with full strike details, brilliant luster and absence of contact marks, and the difference between an MS66 and an MS67 can mean hundreds of dollars in auction. There are also a number of documented varieties for the 2011 Lincoln cent, including double die obverses and reverses off-center strikes, die clashes, cuds, and other striking errors that turn ordinary pocket change into something far more interesting and potentially valuable, and we will take time during this video to walk through known examples of these varieties and teach you how to spot them using common tools, like a jeweler's loupe or digital microscope, so you can start identifying high-value coins in your own collection or pocket change. But to really appreciate the value of the 2011 Lincoln cent, we also have to look at the bigger picture of how modern coin collecting has evolved in recent years. The rise of online marketplaces, digital grading technologies, and a more informed collector base has made even modern circulating coins a hotbed of interest and competition. And as more people get into the hobby, the demand for specific dates and varieties increases, especially when people are trying to build complete sets or registry sets in top grades. We will also explore the historical and economic context of 2011, which marked a period of recovery after the 2008 financial crisis, and saw changes in metal pricing, inflation, and budget concerns at the U.S. Mint, which influenced everything from coin designs to mintage strategies and even discussions in Congress about whether to eliminate the penny altogether. And yet through all this, the Lincoln cent remained a cultural and economic staple, serving not just as currency, but as a symbol of enduring values and national unity. By the time we conclude this 2-hour journey through the 2011 Lincoln penny, you will have a solid understanding of its origins, its composition, its varieties, its market performance, and its potential value. As part of a larger collection, you will learn how to evaluate coins, how to grade them, how to store them properly, how to research varieties, and how to stay up to date with market trends so that you can make informed decisions as a collector, whether you are just starting out or deep into the hobby. So make sure to like, subscribe, and join us as we continue to uncover the stories behind the coins in your pocket and the treasures hiding in plain sight, because every coin has a story, and the 2011 Lincoln cent is no exception, from the history of its design to the nuances of its production to the excitement of the hunt. This coin is a perfect example of why numismatics continues to captivate people all over the world. Welcome back to the channel, and let's get started with this incredible exploration of the Lincoln pennies of 2011. Roosevelt dime, 1977. Where today we embark on a comprehensive deep dive into the rich numismatic history of the 1977 Roosevelt dime, a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance, but carries decades of historical significance, national symbolism, economic transitions, and evolving minting technologies that shaped not just American currency, but a cultural legacy surrounding coinage in the United States of America from its earliest conception to the mid-1970s and beyond. Our journey begins in the early 20th century, a time when the United States was moving through dramatic economic and social changes. The Great Depression had already left its mark, and Franklin Delano Roosevelt emerged as a figure of hope, leading the country through the turmoil of economic collapse and then into the fires of World War II. Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd president of the United States, left an indelible impact on the nation through the New Deal program's Social Security, the fight against polio, and his unprecedented four-term presidency, making him not only a political titan, but also a beloved symbol of American resilience and determination. It was following his death in 1945 that a national consensus grew around memorializing him in a permanent way. And what better way to honor his legacy than to embed his image into one of the most widely circulated and universally recognized coins in American pockets and wallets. Thus, in 1946, just 1 year after his death, the United States Mint introduced the Roosevelt dime, replacing the winged Liberty Head dime, commonly known as the Mercury dime, which had been in circulation since 1916. The Roosevelt dime was not only a tribute to the late president, but also a symbol of the March of Dimes campaign, which Roosevelt had supported in the fight against polio, a disease he himself battled for much of his adult life. The coin was designed by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the United States Mint at the time, and the obverse bore Roosevelt's left-facing portrait, while the reverse featured a torch flanked by olive and oak branches, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength, respectively. Over the next 3 decades, the Roosevelt dime remained largely unchanged in design, but underwent significant shifts in its metal composition and minting techniques. Originally minted in 90% silver and 10% copper from 1946 to 1964, the coin experienced a pivotal change with the Coinage Act of 1965, which eliminated silver from circulating dimes, quarters, and half dollars, and replaced it with a clad composition of copper and nickel due to the rising cost of silver and widespread coin hoarding. This act marked the beginning of the modern clad coin era and set the stage for the production of dimes, like the 1977 Roosevelt dime. Now, arriving at the year 1977, we find ourselves in a complex economic environment shaped by the aftermath of the Vietnam War, the Watergate scandal, and a stagnating economy marked by inflation and unemployment. Coin production during this era was both a necessity of circulation and a statement of stability and continuity in a nation searching for confidence and national pride. The Roosevelt dime continued to be minted in vast numbers, with the Philadelphia and Denver mints leading the charge, while the San Francisco Mint focused primarily on proof coins for collectors. The 1977 Roosevelt dime was struck in both business and proof versions, featuring the standard clad composition of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core, resulting in a total weight of 2.27 grams and a diameter of 17.91 millimeters with a reeded edge and a standard thickness of 1.35 millimeters. Millions of these coins were produced that year, specifically over 375 million million at the Philadelphia Mint, marked by the absence of a mint mark over 312 million at the Denver Mint bearing the D Mint mark, and just under 4 million proof coins were struck at the San Francisco Mint with the S Mint mark. These figures demonstrate the magnitude of circulation and the importance of the dime in everyday transactions, and yet beyond their transactional value. These coins offer a glimpse into the metallurgical consistency, the production challenges, and the evolving quality control systems employed by the United States Mint during a time when inflation and coin shortages demanded both efficiency and precision. The 1977 Roosevelt dime is also a coin of interest for collectors due to the potential for minor die varieties, mint errors, and condition-based rarities. Though no major design changes occurred that year, collectors often seek examples with strong strikes, full torch details on the reverse known as full bands, and pristine surfaces free from contact marks and discoloration. High-grade examples certified by third-party grading services such as PCGS or NGC can command significant premiums, particularly in MS67 and above condition levels. The full bands designation is especially prized as it indicates a well-struck coin showing complete horizontal lines across the torch. On the reverse, a sign of excellence in die quality and striking pressure, which was not always consistent in high-speed mass production environments of the 1970s. Beyond the surface of each coin lies a deeper story of economic transitions, the gradual disappearance of silver in coinage, the rise of coin collecting as a mainstream hobby, and the increasingly complex relationship between citizens and their currency. The Roosevelt dime in 1977 sat at the intersection of heritage and functionality. It represented both a tribute to a president who reshaped the 20th century and a practical tool for commerce in an America shifting from industrial to post-industrial society. It traveled across states, across hands, through pockets and cash registers, vending machines and payphones, making it not just a piece of metal, but a participant in countless stories across the country. As we examine the minting process of the 1977 Roosevelt dime, we must delve into the machinery, the dies, the blanks, and the striking systems used during the era. At this point, the Mint had adopted automated presses and refined its processes to optimize for volume and speed using high-tonnage presses capable of striking hundreds of coins per minute. The dies themselves were engraved with precision, though they wore down quickly and needed frequent replacement. And it is these wear and tear moments that sometimes result in collectible errors such as die cracks, doubled dies, or off-center strikes, which are now sought after by collectors for their uniqueness and accidental artistry. Numismatic communities have extensively cataloged and analyzed the Roosevelt dimes of the 1970s, including the 1977 issues documenting known varieties, identifying scarce high-grade examples, and tracing mint packaging trends for proof sets issued that year. It is through these passionate communities of collectors, historians, and researchers that the 1977 Roosevelt dime continues to live on, not as a mere relic, but as a point of connection between past and present, between currency and history, between the everyday and the extraordinary. Throughout this video, we will continue exploring examples of high-grade 1977 dimes visual diagnostics for identifying full bands and understanding what makes a specimen stand out in the world of professional grading and numismatic appreciation. We will look at close-up comparisons under magnification, analyze real-time auction data, and explore registry sets that showcase the most elite known examples of the coin. We will also take a virtual walk through the economic events and cultural mood of 1977 to better understand the context in which these coins circulated, what they bought, where they traveled, and how they reflected the silent yet vital role of coins in everyday American life. In closing our introduction, remember that the Roosevelt dime is more than just a small denomination coin. It is a miniature canvas of history, artistry, politics, and economic reality, And the 1977 issue is a snapshot of a moment in American history when the past and future of money collided on the thin, round face of a dime. So stay tuned as we continue our in-depth exploration of this iconic coin, its history, its variants, its legacy, and its place in the hearts of collectors and historians alike, only here on Roosevelt Dime 1977.